Hey guys, what is up? It's me back with another video. Watch it at 1.5 times speed is my recommendation. You guys should be watching as much content as you can at higher speeds. It gets through it all quicker. Today I'm continuing with my resource review series where I go through a recommended resource and look at their best content. Today we're keeping with Andy from KillYourInnerLoser, one of my highest possible recommendations, mostly because he has a coaching service currently running, which means you can get to him directly if you have the free cash. I have been having coaching from Andy for nearly 2 years now. It's kind of weird me going over his best articles because I've had it kind of been able to get his content directly from him as opposed to reading secondhand or watching his podcast videos, all that stuff. But I'm pretty sure I can nail down, share it on from his content, where his best ideas are and which are his best articles. I'm also going to talk about one article today in particular, which helped me personally the most. And what are the articles that are going to help you the most will be different to mine, but I just really want to recommend to start with one of the articles that's really impacted my life for a positive. I haven't spoken about one of my biggest battles that I've been through mentally and in my dating life, and that is getting over my big ex, basically. She was from America, and I met her while traveling, and she basically dominated my sex life for about 2 years without even really being in my life that much because we were long distance. And yeah, it was really tough for me to deal with the fact that she didn't want me anymore when she broke it off. And from then on, I tried to make it like a friendship work because I really wanted to still be around her and she wanted a friendship too. So I was desperately trying to keep her in my life, even though it was hurting me because I still wanted her. In this vein, I'm going to recommend one of his articles. I don't even think Andy realizes how important it is himself. Andy wrote an article called The Best of His First 100 Articles, and he included this in there with a little bit about my story and what happened to me. And he said in that article, I don't think that he wrote this article kind of like a throwaway. It wasn't really one that he thought would be that important. But to me, it was mind blowing. It's called How to Break Up with a Girl Amicably. And in this article, what he does is break down step by step every single kind of type of girl you can be seeing and how you should end things with them. So, for instance, if it's a girl you've only really been messaging, you haven't really dated her that much, maybe you've been on one date, you kind of just say, if you don't want to see her again, you just send a message being like, hey, sorry, you're not feeling the chemistry. I don't think we should see each other again. It was nice meeting you. Blah, blah, that's it. That's all you do. And this is a lot better than ghosting, obviously. I can't stand ghosting. I think we should all just grow up and accept that ghosting is something that shouldn't be done. So sometimes I see videos about people kind of proud that they've ghosted people or they think it's a valid tactic to use. And it's just ridiculous. Don't bother doing that. It doesn't take more than 2 minutes to write a little message that says, sorry, I don't think we're going to work out. I don't think we should see each other again. Goodbye. From that point on, he kind of goes down based on how much you've seen that girl and whether or not you kind of need more. You need to be more gentle if you've seen her a bit more. For example, when you're we've been in a long-term relationship, you should probably do more than just text. He advises you go and meet them in a public place, maybe in a park, maybe go for coffee, and then you just kind of have the conversation and be really, really honest. Say that say how much they mean. You can say things like how much they mean to you and stuff like that, but you say that you need to break it off. For me, it wasn't quite the same thing because I was actually breaking off a friendship that was kind of in the in-between phase where it was we were more than friends, but we weren't doing anything. So I had to just kind of end my contact with this girl. And I used Andy's basically what Andy said to say in his article. And I used the fact that he wrote that article and made it such an important point that he always breaks up explicitly with the girls he's seeing if he wants to. That it hammered home that I needed to do it. I needed to end things. If I didn't want that person in my life anymore, if I didn't want this girl in my life anymore, I just needed to end things and do a clean cut and move on. And that's where I am now, and I feel a hell of a lot happier having moved on. And I wouldn't have done it without this article, to be honest. I just wouldn't have done it. Even with Andy talking to me in person, he couldn't force me to see what I needed to do. But reading this article, it finally got through to me. And more importantly, it gave me actionable steps to actually take to actually achieve the outcome I wanted. And that's for the best thing I can say about Andy's articles. Everything will have actionable steps. So if you're looking for the answer on his website, he will give you the step-by-step instructions on how to achieve it. Always. No matter what he's talking about, there will always be actionable stuff. And if you have coaching with him, you better believe he will give you things to do to take action. And if you don't take action, he will drop you as a client. That's just naturally going to happen because he can't help people who won't take action to do what they need to do and go for what they want. So yeah, this article really helped me. And I would suggest everyone reads it. And if you've been like ghosting or you've been too afraid to break up with girls before, this is the article for you. You need to read this article. You need to take in what he's saying and actually start doing it. Like, the hardest thing about this is sending the text messages. Like when you first, like I've sent messages to girls I've seen once or twice, I've hooked up with, they've been like, they hit me up to see again. I was just like, hey, sorry, not feeling the chemistry. Let's not see each other again. And that was difficult, really difficult the first few times. And eventually you get used to it. Like anything, exposure therapy, you get used to it. You can start having the guts to actually be honest with people when you don't want to see them anymore. And that's a really strong move to make and have in your arsenal, I think, when you go through dating. It gives you a lot of closure. And this is me closing out the episode. I'll see you guys for the next one. Peace out.